How has it been for the special needs homeschool family to adjust to having two of the oldest, the veterans of the school, gone? Shoo! For our youngest, our non-speaking twin, it was hellacious, horrific for the first 2 days, 3 days. It was bad, really bad. When I got back home the next day, she was just looking out the window. She wouldn't eat, she wouldn't drink. And as I said to you, she said BK once, and she was just miserable. She was just quiet and down. The next day, it's like she woke up, she thought, he's still not here, he's really gone. And I guess in her head, he's not coming back. How could this be? And she mourned. It was horrible. She cried and cried, and she would look into my eyes, which she doesn't do when she's throwing a normal tantrum. She looked into my eyes like she's begging me, please take this pain away. Please help me to stop being so sad. And I just kept hugging her and saying, you're sad, you're sad. And I told her, BK is gone. He is gone. She won't understand it coming back. And it's going to be in so many months, okay, 2 months from now, that it's pointless. 3 months, 2 months, that it's pointless even saying he's coming back. And I was thinking, if they come back for holiday, and then how will she be when he leaves? Will she regress again? How is this for her? Is it better if she just never sees him? Or is the in and out better than nothing? To not be able to explain to your child where her favorite guy has gone is extremely painful. All she knows is he's gone, and yet he's been here all my life. Even when he was doing school, he would say, let me hold her. He'd hold her in one hand and answer school questions with another when she was a baby. As you know, or you might know, I've had many operations, and 2020, 2019, 2020, 21, I had a lot of them, so I couldn't hold the twins. It was upper body, arms, elbows, wrists, hands. So the children, the teenagers, stepped in and babied the babies, or took care of the babies a lot. And then as they grew older, they decided we'd rather take care of them than do the dishes, do other chores. We will just rather watch them than that. It was more fun and more relaxed. So that's how we divided the work. I would do more of the house chores. They would do more of the keeping them safe, watching over them. And my son, my teenage son, is very huggy. He's warm, soft, and he's strong enough to lift her up and carry her. I can't do that. So now those warm, soft, carry me hands are gone. Just like that. So she cried and she cried. She put her toys on my bed, which she hadn't done in a long time. She was just screaming and crying and wanting more toys and more toys on the bed. And I just knew, I know what she's trying to do. She's trying to fill the gap. She's trying to fill or close the void, fill the void. And she screamed with so much pain that I just started crying too. And the thing is, Monday morning is when I woke up and I thought, I need to tell the teens. And then realized they're not here. They are not here. They're gone. I can't go and tell them anything. So I was already so sad. I missed my children so much. And I thought, oh my word, I looked down on this other woman who was in some UK tabloid news about how when she bid her son farewell and he went to university, she grieved, like deep grieving, as if he had died. She would smell his shirt. Talk about embarrassing, because her picture and name was splashed up, so his friends knew. She would smell his shirt because she missed him so much. She would sleep on his bed. And I was thinking, when I read it back then, really? Seriously? Woman, come on, get over yourself. A whole month she didn't talk to anybody. She didn't want to talk to anybody. She didn't laugh. She cried. She was miserable for an entire month. A deep, deep depression. It could have been more than a month. I know it was definitely minimum of a month. But Monday morning, I thought, oh my word, what if I'm going to be like her? Though I've never wanted to smell anybody's clothes, what if I'm going to be like her? What if this pain that I'm feeling right now, missing my children so much, what if it never goes away? How am I going to help my children? My son, my 9-year-old son, when I was telling the other kids, the teenagers, via video call about the mourning and the crying that my daughter and I both did. Afterwards, Micaiah said he also cries when he thinks about his siblings. It is sad. And that woman, was used to sending her children, her son away to school. We've been home together, and now they're gone. So it hurt. My girl was miserable again. No eating, no drinking, nothing. None of even her favorites. She was so sad. I just kept hugging and saying, I'm sorry. She attacked me in front of our helper so she could see. Thankfully, it wasn't too much. She just pushed me. Oh. But today was a better day. I'm not mourning. I'm not grieving. I didn't cry. It's normal now. It feels normal. So I'm glad about that. And she is eating again. Eating a lot. Like she's making up for it. Rio is eating. The greatest worry my friends and I had was, what if she never eats again? What if she mourns for weeks and weeks? Some autistic children do. When you send them to school, no matter how good the school is, they mourn. And her worry was, how long will this go on for? How will she survive all this pain that she's feeling? But she ate today, she smiled, and she looked me in the eye, and she just loved me. She let me hug her, she put her face in my chest or my stomach, and she just let me hold her. She was happy. I'm so relieved. So relieved. I know we will miss them, obviously, but the pain is not as deep. Well, it wasn't as deep today for my daughter, and it's definitely not as deep either for myself. I'm happy for the children. I'm happy the teenagers are getting to live a different life. And I'm still being a mom, just different, in a different way. My children lived with me. They spoke to me. I used to think, people always say, ask your children how their day was and be interested in it. And I think I can't ask them that because I'm with them. We live the day together. If they go out, they come back and they tell me immediately. So there is no, so how was your day? And I almost felt like I'm being a bad mother because I can't ask that. Yes, I am a bit paranoid. But now they tell me throughout the day. I'm in the queue. They did orientation. Yesterday was my daughter's faculty and 2 others. Today was my son's faculty and 2 others. And they tell me what they're doing. They tell me what they're eating. They send pictures of what they're eating. I ask questions. They answer. They tell me I'm awake now. Tell me, my son will tell me I've just done my Bible reading. So it's different. And now I can phone them at the end of the day, though we've been chatting so much during the day that there's almost nothing to ask. How was your day? And I get to see my children's precious faces. My son, when geeks get together, my daughter's an introvert. So for her it was a bit hard being alone on campus, and I told her I understood 100%. I was so nervous about going to orientation week that I got my friend, who was not a registered University of Cape Town student, to come with me because I couldn't imagine being alone on campus. That's something that's common for all children, whether they've been to school all along or been homeschooled. I was like that, and I'd been to school since I was 2 years old. And I told her, yeah, I understand, but I know that when lectures start and you all start generally settling in the same seats every day, you will build some kind of rapport with the ones next to you. It will become, not as difficult. And I just had a thought that just now that struck me. We've been trying to support a friend of mine and I. I've been trying to support teenagers. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's the end of the day. I'm so tired. We've been trying to support teenagers whose mothers never finished high school, whose mothers never studied after matric, high school, grade 12. There are things they can't share with their children who want to go further, experiences they can't relate to. That's just sad, eh? Anyway, so yes, I'm talking to them. We talk on the phone, video call, we chat throughout the day. It's different, but it's the same. I love them so much. What was I going to say now? My son was happy. Yes, orientation. I'm going to actually keep those yawns in so that the flow just continues instead of it being choppy choppy. So orientation, and my daughter was, as I said, introverted, but someone called Rose, came to talk to her for a while, so she didn't feel too bad. And my son, oh my word, when geeks get together, they geek together, nerds. He said as he was there, some guy, a Sutu boy, came to introduce himself to him. And the first question the boy asked was, so what coding do you use? What coding program do you use? So they really gelled with each other. And most of them actually doing the higher certificate. Whereas for my daughter, with her humanities faculty, most are doing degrees. But for my son, most are beginning or only doing the higher certificate. So he had a good day. It was tiring. It was long, standing in those queues for 30 plus minutes for your student card. But yes, she made a friend. And it also helps that the guy brought up my son's other love, cars. So they discussed computers and cars. They spoke about the societies they have at Eduvos. He's definitely going to be joining the Web Development Society. I'm not surprised. So he and the friend spoke about coding and this and that program. And they're happy. My son is happy. He's going to get out of his shell. He will go and join this society. Then he was so proud of himself. They were asked questions, 10 questions, IT questions. He said the first thing that was done was the person in front who was doing this welcoming thing. He said, IT people tend not to exercise. So get up now, let's do some exercise first before we begin introductions and explanations. So they did that first, and they were asked 10 questions about coding and whatever else, IT type questions. My dear son was so proud that he answered 6 out of 10 of those questions. So he got a lanyard. He got lip balm as a prize. He got some post-it sticky notes, pads of different colors, and a water bottle. Useful things. I mean, you can then put your student card on the lanyard. I'm just so happy that he's happy. Those of you who know him, you know how tender he is. And I hope my daughter also finds her niche and she finds the same excitement as well. So he got all those prizes, and then the other 4 who answered the other questions each got, a little consolation prize of their own. So we're happy. I'm happy. I'm really happy for them. I'm happy that my daughter had a better day today. She actually threw no tantrum. It was my other twin who's still obviously feeling it because she's demanding things she's never demanded before. So yeah, my children are still juggling with their emotions, but we will survive. My body is taking a big, big hit. To do the work of 3 people when doing my own work was already too taxing. It's bad, really hard on my body. I feel like I'm cutting my life short. That's truly how I feel, that no one can survive all this pain, all this extra work without dying. So yeah, and today I'm alone, single mom. My husband has gone to a work dinner. So it's just me putting everyone to sleep. My 10-year-old wanted to put her non-speaking daughter to sleep, but guess who said, Mommy? She pushed her out and she insisted I must change her, which my rheumatologist would kill me if she found out about, because I'm not meant to change her and dress her. I'm not meant to do anything really. But I did get her into bed. She's got an emotional support umbrella. That's what she's been clinging to a lot. So she's still struggling. And she needs that umbrella on her bed, open. I just think, when she roll over, do it in her sleep and then wake her up. But so far, she's actually slept better than my other twin. My other twin woke me up at 1 o'clock, laughing and giggling at 1 o'clock. And then she slept again, so I just left it. And then at 4, I just heard noise, and she was very unimpressed that she had done a number 2 in her diaper. So I had to change her. So that's what I mean, that physically this is killing me. Before that, because my eldest daughter sleeps their bedroom, hers and my 10-year-old daughter, their bedroom is right next to her. She heard her and would go to her quickly. But now it's Mommy. So, yeah, I had no idea how much of a burden it would be, how taxing, how painful, how much physical suffering I would endure when my children left home. I am worried and scared because I'm not even in a flare. So how am I going to survive when I am in a flare? When I got back from the airport Monday, I was really pulling my body. But anyway, I'm not in a flare now. I'm kind of surviving. My nights are still bad. That's the thing. There is no, at least I'll sleep. I'm not sleeping. There's pain. It's not letting up. So that is how this special needs family of chronic pain is doing. Not that great, but it could be worse. Today was a better day for the children emotionally. So I'm happy. So that's how we are doing, guys. School is still the same, so there really won't be anything much to tell you. Our one problem is the young man who's meant to assist me, and I've told him this so he won't be ashamed if I mention it. He's from Malawi, but he's got a very, very thick accent. He's the only Malawian person I've struggled to understand. It's that's how it sounds to me. It's like the words are all swallowed. I had to ask him to repeat something 4 times, and I see the same problem with the schoolwork where it's not making sense what I'm saying, or he's not doing what I said he should do. Like, for example, my son really struggles with cutting, and a lot of his schoolwork has been cutting. So I told the young man, okay, you cut this for my son, and then he will glue it where it belongs. It's meant to be put the pair next to each other, color them in, and then put them next to each other. Pair of socks, pair of boots, put the one boot that has been cut out next to the one that is already on the page. But the young man didn't do the cutting. And my son knows he struggles with cutting, and he does struggle with cutting. And he's been cutting enough. So I knew he needed a break, but he didn't understand me when I said that. So it's those things where, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know how things are going to work out. And yeah, I don't know, people. There's still a lot to iron out. And unfortunately, it's adding more stress and strain when I need less. God will help me. God has helped me, because I really feel like I'm dying. But here I am. I'm live. I'm alive. I'm talking to you. So clearly, He's been keeping me alive to wake up again and go through this again. Hopefully not at 1 o'clock and not even at 4. Especially because 4 is when I then read my Bible, so it all gets messed up. It's life, parenting. I just feel like my children are still babies, and we're not going to leave that stage. But I have a positive as well, besides my teenagers enjoying school and their life. My daughter, a teenager, vacuumed the place where they're living, the house that we got them. All is well there. But also because she's been asking us to move her toys around here and there. And my girl wants all her toys, all her stuffed toys, all the little bricks and blocks, everything to follow her around. So she said, toys, toys. That's how she talks. Toys, toys. So I said, okay, let's get your toys. And as we're walking, she says behind me, get the toys. First time in ages that she said a 3-word phrase. I can't even recall if she said even a 2-word phrase, actually, besides ice lolly, which is not really a 2-word phrase. So that was nice for today. That was nice for today. Oh, and I know she's missing him because she kept saying bye-bye, bye-bye yesterday. So that is her way of saying he's gone, because when you say bye-bye, the person is gone, they go. So she was saying in her head, bye-bye, BK. It still hurts when I talk about it, to think about it. But hopefully she will recover. Hopefully they will be able to come on holidays, give them a bit of a boost, and that I'm really praying that when they go back again to Pretoria, she won't regress as much as she did this time, because that is painful, really painful. Thank you for listening, folk. The homeschooling is different. I won't belabor that point because I already said it in the previous video. Homeschooling is different. So when that nest becomes a bit emptier, it's different. And the last thing I wanted to say, one person said, oh, but it really won't be. How do you feel about the teens going? And before I could say, this is before they left, the person then says, oh, but then you've got 4 others anyway. I'm like, yeah, but the 4 others are not those 2. You can't replace children. Every child is different. Every child has a different personality. You love them all. Your love doesn't disappear from the ones who are gone just because you still have some here. You still have a bond with the other 2. So that was a really not very clever thing to say. And I know people who've lost a child hear that kind of nonsense too. Well, at least you've got your other son. But they miss and love the one who is dead. It doesn't close the void. The heart doesn't just forget the love that they had for the other child. The heart has widened enough to love 2 children. Now one is gone. That is a forever hole. So if you're one of those kind of people, well, at least you've got other children. Please don't say the pain is still there. The pain of losing that child is still there. There's a lady who's probably in her 50s, 60s, who still has not forgotten that she had a stillborn. And she wept. And one of the people, I don't know if it was a patient or a nurse, said to her, I think it was a nurse, well, at least be happy you've got another child at home. Others have lost their first child, is the stillborn. But she's still in pain. It doesn't change. And the fact that after decades, probably 3 decades, 2 decades, she still says, she still talks about that pain, says a lot. Having other children doesn't take away the pain. So on that sober note, I will end. May we be really mindful of our words, really. Take care, everybody. Wow, it's Friday morning. It's not going well. It's not going well at all. Wow. I think I did mention that now we'll be the ones who have to buy a baby monitor, which we did buy, so that we can hear our other twin when she wakes up in the night. So yes, we've had waking up in the night, and sometimes I forget to turn the monitor on. So I find out only later that, oh, like this morning, and again, mommies mommies matter. We really deserve Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, the things which some of us, too many of us, don't get. We deserve to be pampered and spoiled. We keep the household running. So I went to wake up Amy later than normal, and I said to her, all right, wake up, time to wake up. And she said, ugh. Nayla woke up and she was crying. She wanted Bunny. Now I've heard her other cries and her laughter, as I said, through the monitor. Did I say so? Yes, I think I did. That through the monitor I heard her laughing with her doll at 1 o'clock in the morning. Yes, so she was crying because she couldn't find her Bunny. So Amarissa said they did go and look for Bunny, but they couldn't find Bunny. I said, okay. And then came and asked my husband, who was now out in the front because our other twin woke up early. And so he could then, so he's out there so he can try and hear all the children. Because my bedroom, our bedroom is far from the twin. So the other twin. So he's out there and he says, yes, she told us before she went to bed that she couldn't find Bun Bun. And I asked her, where did you put her? But when I went to look for her there was no Bun Bun. And I'm thinking, really? An ADHD child has no clue where they left it. So I wouldn't, we need moms. I wouldn't just go there only when I'm looking for it. Surprise, surprise. It was right there in the lounge. Right there in the lounge. So I don't actually know where she and Amarissa looked for this bunny of hers. So I took it and I went into her room and gave it to her. Oh, what a happy reunion. Bunny, you've got Bunny. Right there in the lounge where she had sat when they prayed. So how is it? They do lots of, well, okay, they don't do lots of, but sometimes there are reels that make fun of this very issue where men just don't know how to look for things. And I've seen it with both my husband and my son. Men, it's like, I don't know, they go blind when they're searching for things. It was right there on the sofa, guys, right there. So yes, moms need to be on 24/7. Sick moms can't be on. And if I had not been a sick mom, I would have been at the prayer time with them. And then I would have heard her saying, I want Bunny. And I would have said, she's right here. And then there wouldn't have been any nighttime waking and crying. And I'm sure I heard it. As I said before, the medication I take in the evenings is to help me sleep. It's also a sleep type pill. And it takes away the nerve pain. So when I finally do sleep, in between the ouch, now I'm in pain, I sleep deeply. So I missed her crying this time and I forgot to turn the monitor on. So it's not good. I had no clue how difficult it is or how difficult it would be to do the work of the two teenagers and my own. How painful it would be. And I've said this already in the first part, so I'm not going to belabor that point. It's just that the day is longer because they're not out there to play with each other. Then mommy has to be there, or daddy and mommy. So yeah, and even if daddy is there watching so that they don't do something naughty like stealing breakfast, the next day's breakfast like they did, they still come to mommy. There's no Bika and Ella to keep them busy. It's now mommy. So my day is longer. It doesn't, usually it ended at like 9 or 10 when I tell my daughter for the last time, please go to bed, my 10-year-old. But at least they were busy until the teenagers would come complaining, okay, I'm bringing Amarissa. She doesn't want to listen. She keeps turning the taps on. Or she doesn't want to listen. She keeps running around, making noise. Special needs complicates life. Generally, you sleep train your baby, and then once they're sleep trained, you have no more nights to worry about. You will get your proper amount of sleep. Autism and ADHD are sleep enemies. One can't fall asleep at all. The others fall asleep, but then they wake up too often, too early, at different times. Twins, twin, twin, twins. So you have different twins waking up at girls waking up at different times. Wow, people, I feel like I'm drowning. As I said to a friend, and I might have even said this in the other video, I feel like I'm just going to die. And my last point before I move on to school, it's not working out. The savior I thought we had in that young man ended up being an extra burden. I felt like I had to take care of an extra baby. So, okay, I won't give the specifics because but he knows them. And I told him that this is not working. Your probation period is showing me a lot of problems. But let's just put it this way. If your helper goes to him, this young man who was hired specifically to keep an eye on the children so they are safe, our helper has found broken needles. Did I tell you about that? About how my daughter told the psychologist that she pierced herself with a needle because she was angry and she scratched it around a bit. My helper has found needles, broken needles. And it was from a sewing box that she had opened because they wanted to see inside, and then she taped it back up again. Except my girl went and untaped it, and it's a proper full sewing machine. Let me diverge a bit. I bought a sewing machine about 3 years ago. I'd wanted to have a proper good sewing machine for a long time because I wanted to sew our own clothes, and I'd been doing a kind of a small little business selling things that were sewn. So I wanted to make a bit more money, and I just enjoyed sewing and just sitting there. It's therapeutic. It just makes your mind, it just relaxes your mind like knitting does. But my back pain back then still is increasing. And I said to my husband, I've seen this special. I've got the right amount of my own monthly salary, which is not what a teacher gets, but anyway. And I want this. The sewing machine. It's got good reviews, but my back. And he said, well, what if you do find help one day? And so I bought the sewing machine. But I haven't found help. I found a diagnosis. I found that I'm getting worse. So I just didn't. I have not been able to sew. So when we're discussing the sewing machine with our helper, I said to her, Vi, if you want it, if you have a need for a sewing machine, good quality, brand new, unused, never opened by me, you can take it because I'll never be okay enough to sit there for a long time. And I will always have too many interruptions, honestly. Too many interruptions. So she goes and tells this young man who was hired to work in the house as a teacher, but leaves the children and myself in the house for 3-4 hours while he is outside on his phone in the playroom. If your helper can go to someone and say, dude, you are wasting these people's money that you'll be getting for your wage. Surely you can find something else to do rather than to be on your phone for all these hours. So that's how it's been, folk. I have modified my adverts and I'm going to look again. I'm still looking. That's really where I'm going. But yes, it was hard to know that I'm paying someone to do really nothing, and to know that the children don't understand what he's saying at all. And he's so in the space that my 5-year-old told him, go away, which is not nice, but she was in his space. And she really does struggle with sentence structure. She really is stammering a lot. It's bad. I feel so sorry for her sometimes. But so yes, that's how it is. The children don't understand him. The children don't really like to be with him because they don't understand him. And he's not playing his part, a part that was made very clear in the job advert and when we did the interview, which means I'm back to doing more than I should in the school day, which was the point of hiring someone to do the teaching, was so that they can take the load. But because of the accent thing, they're not understanding instructions. I'm still teaching anyway. And I've got this person who my children can't handle. So let's end on an upbeat note. Oh. School is going well so far. Reading is going well so far for my 5-year-old daughter. My other girl is really still struggling with spelling still, and she's not understanding. We've been learning that the letters UE say U, like blue, oo, they say oo, Q, C-U-E, that word. But she's not able to isolate, even though we've told her UE says oo. She doesn't get that. So when the paperwork says add 2 consonants to make a word, she'll just make some strange word. Anyway, that's not the point. Let's not go there. It's tough. And I will have more to report to you after we get the feedback in March on that aspect of her scholastic abilities. Well, because as you know, we're doing assessments now. She did some this Monday when she lied about medication and said she had taken it, but she hadn't. Well, she told the therapist she hadn't, the psychologist she hadn't. She came back to me and said, no, I did take it. I told her on other days I don't swallow it. So what I do is I tell her, stick out your tongue, show me your hands. She said she sticks the tablet under her tongue. So it's not there, but it's under her tongue. I forgot to check that. This other thing, because I'm now giving all the children medicine, I'm not dividing it between the twins. The twins were being given by each teen. My mind is too busy, and this child is pulling me, that one is talking to me. I get distracted, and I forgot to check. And I've got brain fog, people. I forgot to check that she actually had swallowed it today. This life. So the positive, we're reading well. My daughter, 5-year-old, she read the word up, and she said, up, like you raise me up. And today we said it, and she said like, oh no, it was is. And she read the word is, because I'm teaching her the word is. Usually you know how it is with phonics, you say S says S, but now she has to learn that S can also say Z. So we're learning is. And she said, okay, is. So I was about to give her a sentence, and she says, like, is my heart clean? It's those little moments that just thrill my heart. I pray. I've done the best I can for my children. I just pray that they never forget to live their lives in Christ. I'm thankful that I can see the seeds that are sown, that they are sticking in their hearts. I'm thankful for that. And that's where I'll end this update. My children spend a lot of time on their apps because it calms them down and there is education going on. So my daughter says to me today, this little girl, share the cookies, share the cookies. She's asking me to open up a pack of her cookies. That's how some autistics speak. They relate something they have watched to whatever the context is that they're currently in, and they use the sentence or phrase or word that they saw for this context, and it's communication. So I'm hoping for many more of those. These were taken the day my big daughter left. Aww. Last month's request, always my 5-year-old. She always asked for these outfits, and then the others just jump in. Yes, we need them, we need them, we need them. These shoes belong to our helper Violet. She puts them on when she comes to our house, and then takes them off before she leaves. So Nelo had fun putting them on. I just wanted to thank her so much for being sensitive to the struggles we have with one child who hides food, hides urine,
does silly things, messes up the wall. 5-year-old Urinele asked for a picture of the three of us. Here we are. Marissa had a bad maybe a day, a night of nausea and vomiting. She was terrible. She felt bad. I gave her some anti-nausea meds, and she tried to sleep it off. When the children's medical kit arrived, her 5-year-old sister knew exactly who her first patient would be.
Okay, hold the hole with your other yes. Find it with Mikhail. Hold the holes, the actual hole with these fingers. Hold the hole open. No, like this, with your hands like that, so that it pulls apart. And then you put your button in with this hand. That.
Okay.
Try the last one. Wait, find the hole. No, you can't find it like that because then your finger will be in the way.
So?
Yes. There we go. No, what are you doing? Okay, do it again. Get it through just like you got it. And then pull it with your right hand. Pull the button out with your right hand. Make sure that it's in the hole. Relax. You're turning it sideways. It won't be able to go in if it's sideways. The hole is not sideways, is it? It's facing up. So you put the button.
And
Wait, you're not holding this open anymore. Let me try to show you from my angle.
And thus ends another week's roundup of our very special life.